I do appreciate, and I apologize for having such a boring bio. And I may be able to get it the press, but apparently I can't save a PowerPoint button. Yes, I can. Okay. Is there a clicker?
No, so just
All
give me a nod.
Well, Sam, first I want to thank you for inviting me. It's truly an honor, and I want to thank all of you for participating. The topic is building a brand in a digital age, and I hate having to read slides on a PowerPoint presentation. So, if you can't see it, I'll read it. Otherwise, I'm assuming you can all see, and there's no problem. Please. I always begin with definitions, and for me, a brand is your reputation. And you do not determine what your reputation is. You may have an idea, you may have a plan, you may want something, but if the public doesn't buy it, it's what they determine as your reputation, not what you determine. And for digital, I mean social media, all of these platforms we will be reviewing. But none of this happens without reach. It's the requirement. You do not want to be the best kept secret in town. This, by the way, is as funny as I get, so you better chuckle. There are people who use social media to interact with their friends and colleagues, and God bless them. But if you know all the people in your network, what do you need the network for? The social media network. I am assuming everybody here uses LinkedIn, knows from LinkedIn. I don't have to give the 5-minute intro to LinkedIn. Good. It's all well and good if your social media network consists only of your friends and colleagues. Well, what's the point? You can pick up the phone and call them. You can send them an email. The beauty of social media is that you can reach out to the world. Now, Sam and I are first-degree connections. If I had rejected his request, or if he had rejected my request to connect, who knows? That means I don't have access to his second-degree connections, who are my third-degree, or to his first-degree connections, who I'm not connected to, who are my second-degree connections. And then I don't have access to the third-degree connections. So it's a small universe. Please. Nope. Go back. I have 30,000 first-degree connections on LinkedIn, 2,000 plus additional followers. When last week I made up these slides and I went in and clicked on search people with no filters at all, 7,173,458 was the number that came up in the search. Theoretically, technically, if I post something, I can reach 7 million people. It is never going to happen. But it just shows the power. I'm interested in big data. I don't understand it, but I'm interested in it. I'm interested in quantum physics. I don't understand it, but I'm interested in it. This is big data for the common person, for the solopreneur. LinkedIn provides all this, and it's just that the number is mind-boggling. But the real number for me on LinkedIn is 32,317. All of your first-degree connections are your followers. It's everyone above that number. So I am proud of the fact that 2,300 people think that my incoherent ramblings and musings are worth reading or listening to. This is what I have accomplished on LinkedIn by clicking yes. All right, I accepted 30,000 invitations. I don't deserve a pat on the back for that. My finger does not like it. Next slide, please. Now, on Facebook, I have not been that active. I had a Facebook account, I didn't really use it until probably January, when I decided to write a new book, and I wanted to do what I could to promote it. And then I discovered that there is a limit to the number of friends you can have on Facebook, 5,000. So being me, I know.
Yeah. I had no idea.
No,
there
they
was a
were
limit.
looking at each other.
Yeah.
5,000 limit? Yeah, no, there is. But then you can get friends, followers. So I wasn't even trying. I just wanted the 5,000. Took me a month. Do I know these 5,000 people? Of course not. But I got them, plus 166 followers. Next slide. Twitter, haven't been able to break 3,000. I don't lose any sleep over it. Now, of course, there are redundancies. Some of the people on LinkedIn, I'm probably connected to on Facebook or on Twitter. I know that. Next slide. I have my own blog, Employment Edification. When I started really using LinkedIn and publishing articles there, I forgot about the blog. And what I would do on occasion is I'll cut and paste an article on LinkedIn and publish it on my blog. What I like about this blog, which is with WordPress, is that you have to sign up for it. I can't sign you up. And I had ignored it for a long time, and then about 3 months ago, I discovered 6,800 people are signed up for it. I'm not ignoring this anymore. I don't know how it happened, but over the years, people obviously saw some of my previous articles, liked them, signed up for it. Next. They're not all 5-digit figures, all right? For YouTube, I have 58 subscribers. If all goes well, in a few days' time, this presentation will be on YouTube. Next slide, please. Google Plus, I don't even remember signing up for Google Plus. All right? I got it. 52 people follow me. Next slide, please. Are you all acquainted with Blog Talk Radio? This is a platform for podcasts. If you are a technological moron, it will take you 45 seconds to learn how to have a podcast using their platform. It's that simple. It's that easy. I have done my own podcast, and I was the host of the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce podcast for 5 years. I've done about 450 podcasts in total. 20 followers. Okay, fine. But if you put it all together, if I wanted to reach out to the world, my real universe is 47,500 people. The good news is, if I like you, and I want to share something you have done, that's the potential. The bad news is, and my mind doesn't work this way, but someone came over to me and said, he doesn't want to work with you. I said, why? He said, he's afraid that if you don't like something he's done, you're going to write about it, and you'll reach tens of thousands of people. The human mind, what can I tell you? I don't think that way. I look at it as a positive. This gives you the ability to get your message across. How many newspapers today have 47,000 subscribers? That's the beauty of the internet and social media. Don't know her. Yes, I paid for the right to use her picture. This is my book. I've got 5 books. This is my book, my latest one. And when it came out, after a few days, I made it, I know you can't see it, trust me, this says 4. Number 4 bestseller. And I was happy. Number 4 bestseller, that ain't bad. And then I thought about it. I go, no. I don't want to be number 4. I was number 1 new release in a lot of categories. The one I was most proud of was sales and sales presentations. Why? Because my approach to career counseling is that you are selling yourself. So if you want to know how to get a job, think about why you buy what you buy. You're selling yourself, you're marketing yourself. So that made me happy. But I wanted to be number 1. So I came up with a crazy idea. Every day, by the amount of squinting do I need to read? Every day for the month of March, I put out I'm seeing smiles so you can all read it, all right. I put out the same message every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This one, about the Centers for Disease Control, 876 views. Every week. That was just 1 week. That was the last week that I did it. One of my career counseling clients called me up and says, "What are you doing? Are you crazy? You're making fun of yourself." And I said, "Yeah. Most people will get up and say, this is the greatest book since the Bible." Well, it doesn't have any credibility. So I took the opposite approach. So I don't remember what day it was. It doesn't matter. Monday was the Centers for Disease Control. I don't even know if there's a Carpenters Union of America. All right? But I made it seem like they don't like me. Just to be on the safe side. For all of these, I included #fake news, so the AMA is going to sue me. All right? Everybody read it? This one I was rather proud of. All right? 777 people. All right? And look at the reaction. Next slide, please. This was the first one I came up with. All right? 509. Remember, this is every day. Next slide, please. Now, I don't know why the picture appears here and not on the other ones. I cannot figure it out. LinkedIn has quirks to it, and they follow me. I know that the management of LinkedIn follows me because every time I would post a video on how to use LinkedIn, within a week they changed the user interface. All right? It happened twice. I don't do it anymore. The important thing is this number here, 18. They don't always work. There are no guarantees. What do they say? Past performance is no indication of future results. Same thing here. Please. But the result was I became number one for it was a good 10 days in 3 different categories: interviewing, sales presentation, and management. Why management, I don't know. But it worked. Please. And I was always brought up to thank people. This is just a screenshot. It doesn't come out well on the reproduction of the previous slide. All right? And I thanked everyone for making it a number one. 500 people saw that. Next slide, please. Now, I have my podcast. Bruce Hurwitz Presents. You're all invited to come on. There's no charge. You talk about your profession and building up your... It's a tool that you can use for marketing. Everybody thinks that there's an ulterior motive, that there's some strings attached. There are none. I do it because I enjoy it. I've been doing interviews for 8 years. It's fun. Every day, I send out this message. It's a legit interview. You want it? 567 people see it. I'm booked now through almost the end of next month. Next slide, please. When a guest comes on, I was looking for something close to what I felt you all would relate to, and figured construction was the closest I had. Robert Pulitzer came on, great interview. I thanked him. 200 people see it. It's the way to get name recognition. Next, please. Now, I get quoted in articles. When I get quoted in an article, I do not say, this is something called vocationvillage.com. When I get quoted in an article, I don't say, ooh, I just got quoted on vocationvillage.com. Sound like I'm a fool. It's obnoxious. What do? I congratulate the author. So now I'm promoting the author. They like that. I say what the article is about, and in this case, here's some food for thought. Click on it, read the article. You realize I was quoted in it? Great. You don't? Okay. But at least you know I was the source for a good professional article. Next, please. I'm on Fiverr. Do you all know what Fiverr is? It's a great website. Fiverr meaning, you'll do a quick job for $5. Now, it's everything from $5 to I think $5,000. I do speech writing. I enjoy it. It's fun, and you make a few bucks. It doesn't hurt. I promote it every day. See, 629 people see it. Next slide, please. The only reason, the only logical reason, because here it says I have 10 5-star ratings, all right? There are others with many more. The only logical reason that I'm first is because I'm promoting it. I must get more clicks than anybody else, or more impressions than anybody else. It's the only reason I can think of. Next slide, please. I did a video, put it on YouTube. I promoted it. 1,303 people viewed it. I've done other work. Dozen, 2 dozen. It's just the power of having a large, robust social media network. These are the results you can find. Next slide, please. Now this is the one that broke all records. The dumbest, most insane thing ever. Didn't know what was happening. I'm working for a recruiter. Woman comes in. She's interviewed by a colleague. She comes out of the conference room, and she says, I don't understand why I'm not getting any interviews. And my colleague, who was very honest, very polite, but very direct, said, I don't know. You're professional, you dress properly, you're articulate, you know your stuff. And I'm looking at her, and on her finger is the Hope Diamond. And I say, you may not like this. We hadn't been introduced. You may not like this, but it may be the diamond. Because it stands out. And who knows? In an interview, it's 1,000 different things. 2 weeks later, she calls me. I didn't know her name. I said, who's this person? And my colleague said, she's my candidate. I said, why is she calling me? She had an interview. The only thing she did differently was to remove the ring, and she got the offer. Could have been 1,001 different things. Afterwards, when I started offering career counseling services, it happened again 6 times. So what I do on LinkedIn is I write articles based on the experiences of my candidates and my clients. So I did it. Naively thinking, I got jobs for 6 women. And yet I'm a sexist and I'm a misogynist. This thing got picked up by Vogue, Cosmopolitan, and then literally went around the world. I was shocked. 184,247 people read this thing. Please. 1,300 commented on it, 1,400 liked it. So there were some places where I could go. Look at the companies. State Street, Ernst & Young, Arla Foods, don't know. PwC, Morgan Stanley. People, 64 people in Copenhagen read this thing. Next slide, please. It was crazy. The phone was ringing. I laughed all the way to the studios of Fox Business. That picture and the close-up with my name underneath and Hurwitz Strategic Staffing and News Alert has gotten me so much credibility. I use it all the time. So I'm laughing, everybody else is screaming. The bottom line is I knew how to deal with the press. So when I was on headline news, I knew I was going to be attacked, and I had a game plan, and I stuck to it. It worked. That's what got me onto Fox. They told me, we saw you on headline news, that's why we invited you in. Next, please. LinkedIn does not do this anymore. I've given similar presentations before, so this is a slide I stole from a previous one. What's important here is 9,500 people saw it, 48 shared it, 1,000 plus liked it. But these are my first degree connections who interacted with this. These are my second, third, and more connections. It's not the people who you are directly connected with that matter, it's who they're directly connected with. And that's the proof. I have career counseling clients who come to me after being fired, and they are stressed out and they want revenge. And it's very difficult for them. They need an outlet. Now, I've written about this. I'm not ashamed of it. I worked for a New York university for 6 weeks. I said a New York university, not the New York university. For 6 weeks, one bright day, I'm called into the program director's office. He says, "You have been charged with sexual harassment." I was shocked. He wouldn't tell me who, he wouldn't tell me what. A week later, he told me, the worst crime I committed, a colleague put on a new hoodie. Somebody had sent it to her, she took it out of the package, put it on. There was lint on her shoulder. I reached over and said, "Here, take it off." That was inappropriate touching. This was all nonsense. So I wrote about it. Why? Because I did not know what people were saying about me. And everything's a game of telephone. The diamond ring story, the articles, have very little relation to what I actually wrote. So I didn't want the same thing to happen. And I was connected to my students and colleagues. They all read this. I know it because I saw in the analytics who was reading it. Now, a week after I was told what my crimes were, I gave a presentation to students on networking, and I said, the good Lord gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. He was sending a message. Listen twice as much as you speak. I was fired because I may have offended atheists. And it's all in writing. You don't have to believe me. It's all in writing. Almost 1,000 people saw this one. I then shared these articles with everyone in my network in HR, everyone in higher education, and anyone in the clergy. Hundreds of people. Not one response was negative. Everybody supported me, so I knew I had nothing to worry about. Next slide, please. I look at Facebook, I look at LinkedIn, and I see people acting one way on Facebook, totally unprofessional, and I look at it and I say, wait a minute, this is Facebook, it's not LinkedIn. Let's see what this person does on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, they do nothing. They behave on LinkedIn, they act like idiots on Facebook. Well, I got news for you. If I find you on LinkedIn as a recruiter, and I'm looking to hire somebody for a client, I'm going to go to Facebook. And if you act like an idiot on Facebook, I'm not interviewing you. So if you have a split personality, you're going to have a problem. You need consistency. Because it's your brand, it's your reputation.
True.
This is worth the price of admission. Write this one down. This is how I got all the press. Here it says HARO, helpareporter.com, stands for Help a Reporter Out. HARO provides journalists with a robust database of sources. I disagree. HARO provides sources with a robust database of journalists. Every day, 3 times a day, I get a list of questions. Every conceivable topic. When I know the answer, I answer. Please. And the result is that I've gotten over 700 quotes. Now, at the end of this is all via email. Sometimes they call afterwards, but the initial is via email. I add this sentence. Now, if Sam gives an answer and I give an answer, and both are equally good, who do you think they're going to go with? The reporter's going to go with me because I'm promising to get them in front of 47,000 more people. It works. Please. But there are downsides to this. You have to have thick skin. It's fun, but you're going to offend somebody. somebody's going to take exception to what you say, you have to be able to just take a deep breath and step back. It's very difficult, but you have to do it. I just want you to be aware of it. Now, getting the criticism, you have to remember that people are not as stupid as some reporters think. I don't remember where I was. It was like 10 days ago. And I heard about this story, and everybody laughed. And I said, this makes no sense. The story was that Donald Trump won counties where there were the fewest amount of subscribers to media, be it paper or online. The inference being, if you voted for Donald Trump, you were not well informed. It's such rubbish. I mean, people were just laughing, saying, what, they don't have the internet in whatever, in the middle of Wisconsin? Of course they do. You don't need a subscription to be informed. So don't, if you get criticized, most people will understand what you're saying. So take the criticism with a grain of salt, don't take it personally. On Harrow, you will see the name of the person, and usually, sometimes it's anonymous, the name of the media outlet. I've been in all of them. I've gotten more traction from these little blogs and websites that nobody's ever heard of than from the big guys. So pay no attention at all to the outlet. You want to get quoted. Next, please. The results, based on traffic to my website, almost 29% from LinkedIn, over 15% from Harrow, and I think I can provide Reddit and Harrow together, but it's not significant. This works. You will get traction to your website, traffic to your website. It's a lot of work sending out all these messages. You can use a site called Hootsuite and program messages to go out every day. First of each month, I do it for the entire month, and I'm done. Cutting and pasting, I do it listening to a ball game. Next, please. Finally, I know we have students. Anything you put in writing on a computer that is going to go to somebody may come back to haunt you. This person sent a message to her colleague saying she was having mental health problems. A week later, she was having a severe headache, and a week later, a migraine. Maybe a very good person, probably is a very good person. But if somebody wanted to use this against her or him, they could do it. Be careful what you put online, be it internet or intranet. Finally, you want to have a brand, follow Don Rickles and Roy Rogers. Got nothing to do with technology. Has everything to do with character. I think there's one more. I thank you all, and I'll be happy to take any questions.